do some both games here.
Yeah.
Turn the volume down. Here we go.
All
who's
right.
Who's gonna talk first?
I'm talking. There's
Okay.
just no time for an intro. Hey,
Okay.
everybody. I don't know everybody that's joining us for Giants post game. We're doing a little something fun right now. It's kind of a live Giants watch party / end of the Heat Celtics game watch party. So Larry's going to be joining us in about 5 minutes. But yeah, we're just going to give our reactions, and then of course we'll get into the post game once Giants game is finished.
Yeah, Giants. Walton strikes out at the end of the top of the seventh. Cincinnati 3, Giants 0.
I mean, I'm hoping that the watching it live thing, once Larry's in here, like it's going to be good luck charm because, I mean, last time we did this was but just about the craziest Giants game of the season.
Yeah, Miami's got the ball with 3:54 to go.
Fouled by Boston.
Oh, you're ahead of me then. You must be looking.
I'm looking. Yeah, I'll let you do the play-by-play.
All right, I'm doing the. You got the gambling site scoreboard. Okay, Adebayo dribbling at the top of the key, brings it out, throws it out to Lowry. Lowry drives all the way to the bucket, throws up a crazy left-handed shot, but is fouled. So he's going to go to the line for 2.
Oh.
3:36 to go, 97-97. Can the Heat pull this off and force a game 7?
Please, God.
That would be great for the Warriors. Definitely a foul on Brown. And both coaches have used their challenges already. So there's no more turnover, no more reversing calls unless the NBA gets involved. First shot by Lowry is good, 98-97. Yeah, we want the Heat to win. We're pulling for the Heat to at least force a game 7.
At least force a game 7.
Yeah, that would be great. And Lowry makes them both. So we got 99-97, 3:36 to go. Boston with the ball. Smart brings it up over the half-court line, being guarded by Lowry. Tatum comes out to set a pick, and there's a foul by Lowry.
Sorry.
We got a foul on Lowry, and these are – I've seen a lot of bad calls here in this half.
Yeah, it seems like you're tightening it up a little bit.
But that was a call. That was definitely a foul on Lowry. He knocked Smart over. So Smart's hit the line for 2, and the first one is good. So it's 99-98.
Oh, geez, what a game.
So Smart's second shot is good, 99-99, 3:27 to go.
Oh, and Butler. Noodles, we will definitely be discussing the Fam Peterson incident.
Oh, yeah. Butler walks the ball up over half court, dribbling. He drives the right side, and is he fouled or, Jimmy comes up limping. He is hobbling. It looks like his ankle. Uh-oh. It is. It's his ankle, and he's holding it up above the ankle, a little up high there.
Dang.
Let's see what he do. He stepped on the foot of Horford. Maybe. Just a little twist. He'll probably walk it off. Yep, got the ball. Sure. Adebayo shoots. No good. Rebound, Boston. 3 minutes to go. Boston Smart walks it up across the half-court line. He's being guarded by Lowry. Still dribbling between the top of the circles. Smart takes it over to the right. We got a switch. He goes up for a 3. He's short. Rebound, Lowry. He gets it stolen by White from behind. Oh, my goodness. That's careless. That was careless. Total careless. He's got to know somebody's coming up behind him. So Boston's got the ball now. Tatum dribbling at the being guarded by Strauss. He throws up he doesn't throw a 3. He throws it over to Brown. Brown shoots a 3. No good, but we got a foul.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Boston's in the bone.
Spoelstra is calling for a travel to no avail. Of course, the league's not going to do anything about that. They're not going to turn around.
Was it shooting foul? Because I'm just following it on the play.
I think it was on the ground. Lowry is
Okay.
sucking air right now. He's bent over. He's gasping for. Let's see.
Oh no, they called it a shoot. It says free
That's
throw.
not a shooting foul. No way.
Yeah, they called it 3 free throws.
No way. He
Or
grabbed his arm.
that's what I'm seeing. Oh, I'm seeing they already missed one of the free throws. So
He missed the first. It can't be 3 shots.
Oh wait, maybe it's not. Maybe it could be my.
I don't know.
Oh my God, I think he missed them both.
Lowry fouled out, and that was a horrible. If they called that 3, he missed them both. He missed them both. Okay, it was a
You're about to see something great, Dan. You're about to see something great.
Okay, Butler's dribbling the ball. He's drives over to the right. He's going to go all the way in, and he lays it in, and he's fouled.
Oh, let's go.
101-99. 2:06 to go, and Butler goes to the line to complete the traditional 3-point play and one.
What a warrior, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, wouldn't he be great on the Warriors?
That would be great on the Warriors.
Butler.
That's why God
up, and he drills it. Up by 3, 102-99. Ball comes into Tatum. Tatum walks it over the half-court line.
Oh!
You must be getting more action. You're losing it there, my friend. You're getting excited. White dribbling. You're ruining my play-by-play here, my career. It's stripped by, gosh, who is that? I don't know. That's the guy that played on the Rockets. I always forget his name.
Oh, PJ Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker. PJ Tucker. He's fouled. So
okay. He's shooting free throws.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Nice steal by PJ Tucker. He just took the ball right out of Tatum's hands, and White.
Oh, that's why we're gonna need Gary Payton.
White fouled him. So PJ to the line, 1:45 to go. A chance to make it a 2-possession game. The first one is up and good. And with the Giants, we got 3-0 in the bottom of the 7th, 1 out. Looks like the Giants have Zach Littell on the mound. Yep.
Rodon did, he
did okay.
Battled. He battled.
Yeah.
And, that's not the
Tucker makes them both.
Yep. So you got
104-99.
Oh!
Boston could end up choking this, baby. Tatum's got the ball, dribbling between the circles, switched out on him by Stroud. Tatum goes to the right. He throws it out to the left over on the 3-point line. 3-point shot in and out by Horford. Rebound, Miami, and a foul.
Yep.
It looks like a foul on Tatum, and it looks like PJ Tucker going to go to the line again. Tucker's he's a great little rebounder. I mean, what is he, like 6'5"?
Oh, yeah, he's 6'5". That's what that Rockets team was hilarious because everybody on that team was like 6'5", but like really had a huge ass and was like maybe a little overweight. Like it was like hard. PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon, and then CP. CP's a thick boy too.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be great not to see Boston fans celebrate there.
I know, just at least make them stress. Because I was hearing everybody who's like, "Oh, championship." I mean, how disrespectful was it? Honestly, like ESPN, everybody today just acted as if like they just started doing the preview with Boston. Like,
oh, he misses the first. Tucker
first, yep.
104-99. Whenever you go, I know something good happened for the. Reds. Oh, that's earlier.
Yeah,
that's earlier. Okay, I was looking at a highlight that was. No, wait. Yeah, that was off Rodon. Yeah. Next shot is good. 105-99. It's a 2-possession game. They need 2 threes to just tie it. 125 to go. The Heat are looking good here.
This is unbelievable. What the heck? So much for the crazy Boston home court. Like this will be the second game they've dropped.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If Miami holds on, I think the momentum switches back to Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Game 7, coming home to have Game 7 in your home crowd when you're hurting. Hero's out. Who else is missing tonight? Or everybody else is
Hero's out. I mean, Butler is undoubtedly injured. I mean, he was able to get it going for this game, but
Yeah.
I don't know how. I think they're kind of emptying the clip in this one. I mean,
We need a big comeback by the Giants. I want to announce
I know
a grand slam or something. That would be awesome.
No, I'm calling it. If who do we got up next inning?
I don't know. Did you see that play by Walton when he let in the second run with his glove? He had time to go to his,
and that's
had time to go from hand to glove and throw sidearm.
And that's why he's up here, is because he got such a good glove.
Yeah. He probably makes that play a lot, and he just tried to, probably figured the guy on second wasn't going to score. I like that catcher for the Reds, though.
Oh, my God. He's so good.
Yeah, and he's got some speed. You see him rounding third, flying home on that. Okay. Boston to take it out in front of the Miami bench. Tatum takes it in, throws it into Brown. Brown being guarded by Butler.
Oof.
Brown gets a screen, gets switched. Brown throws it all the way out to the left side for a three-pointer from Tatum. No good. Rebound. Boston. Boston takes it. Tatum all the way to the hoop. He scores.
Yep. 105, 101.
101. I guess that wasn't Tatum on the three. That must have been White. Or not. Yeah. Okay. With Lowry out, Oladipo's taking the ball up. Yeah. So 105, 101, 1 minute to go.
I know. Rebel 444. Kit so agreed. This would be such a bummer. Like Rodon would be about what, 3-3 after this, or 4-4?
Butler's got the ball with 4 seconds to go on the shot clock. He goes up to shoot, and he's stripped of the ball out of bounds. 2.2 on the shot clock. 46.4 seconds. So Miami's going to have to get it in and shoot. If they don't make it, it'd be great if they get the rebound and get another 14 seconds. Okay, they're going to throw it into Butler. Butler's going to turn and shoot. He turns and shoots a three. Got it!
Got it!
Wow.
What a stud.
107-101, Jimmy Butler. Wow. What a performance.
Yeah, unreal. We got Papirski also leading off the inning.
Oh, Papirski. So he hasn't got his first big league hit. Let's hope for a walk or something.
Yeah, at least he's got a 100 on-base percentage.
10%. Oh, boy.
Yeah, we got
okay, 107-101, 43 seconds to go. Tatum crosses over. He kicks the ball with his leg. They're going to call a foul.
Wow.
And they want it. Miami's doing the review, but they don't have any reviews.
Yeah, they can't.
That's what I hate about the playoffs. Is like
that's stupid.
Did he have his review yet?
Yeah, I think
he signaled it. Spoelstra went to Zach Zarbis, and I think Tatum lost the ball first before. Let me see.
Is there an under 2 minute deal?
Oh no, that's a foul on Strauss. He got his wrist. He's reviewing it. I don't think it'll be overturned. Depends on who they'll call it on Strauss. He got him like he was dribbling, and he got him right here.
Oh wow.
But under 40 seconds to go. What is it? What is it, about 37 seconds?
I don't think this could be right because it just counted down to 0.
Oh, does it show final?
Doesn't show final. I think it might just be a glitch.
Oh, yeah, there's a timeout and review. They're probably...
Oh, it's off the board now.
I'll tell you what's going on here.
Yeah, you tell me what's... I'm not even going to look.
All right. Wow.
All right. We thinking the Giants get a run this inning, though?
Top of the 8th. Are they going to get shut out in Cincinnati? Little hitter's paradise.
Please, God. No.
I think there was a foul both on Tucker and Strauss there. Let me see. Let me turn up my volume here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Jack. That's a foul. Yep, Strauss. 40.7 on the clock.
Oh, they're pinch hitting. They pinch hitting rough.
For Papirski?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that. I mean, why
Sure.
take an out with when you only got 6 left?
Yeah.
You got 6 outs left. Don't take an automatic out.
God, this is a quick quick baseball game though.
Yeah. Okay, Tatum to the line. That's unbelievable that Brown missed those 2 free throws.
That's crazy.
Okay, Tatum to the line. His first shot is up and good. Nothing but net, 107, 102. But Boston's going to have to foul.
Yeah.
So you just probably want to get the ball in Butler's hands or Oladipo and let them shoot the free throws, even if they got to hit at least 1 out of 2. Okay, both are good. 4-point game, 107, 103. Are they going to try and get a defensive stop and have, maybe 18, 19 seconds left down by 4? Are they going to – Butler's got the ball in the backcourt. Going to be trapped, but he gets over the line. He goes all the way to the hoop, that throws it out. Vincent goes all the way in, throws it at Adebayo. Back out to Butler between the circles. 8 seconds to shoot. Butler drives to the left. Goes to the right. Gets into the lane. Pulls up for a 15-foot jumper. No good. Back iron. Rebound Boston. 15 seconds to go. They give it over to Brown. Brown goes all the way in. That's an offensive foul. They got to call it. They're calling a block. He must have been in the circle because Brown just ran completely over him. He ran completely over him.
Well,
he was standing completely still.
Then the black basketball gods, Let me
see.
Brown's got to be pretty sweaty going to the line after missing 2.
Well, unless Oladipo got there late they're saying
we got
review to see if he's in the restricted area and legal.
Who's this guy that just joined the chat?
So I saw your thing about your buddy from down.
Let's see
what channel is the game on.
3-2 pitch to Ruff.
ESPN. The basketball's on ESPN.
3-2 pitch is high. The Giants have a leadoff man on in the top of the 8th.
Let's see here.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah, that's a charge. That is a charge. He ran right over him. He was set. Oladipo was set. He was outside the circle, and they're reviewing it.
Oh, I know.
They're actually reviewing it. The NBA.
I didn't know you. Oh,
Spoelstra already used his challenge.
Lair, can you believe that Boston is laying an egg like this? Oh, my God.
Oh, I mean,
offensive foul. They called it. They reversed offensive foul.
Game.
Good.
Miami has the ball.
Good news today on the front. On the, are we live?
We're live. We're live. Sorry.
Okay, we're live.
Nice. How long ago did you guys get it rolling here?
We've been going for 18 minutes.
So Danny's doing play-by-play.
We got play-by-play both games.
Slam! We got to slam!
Oh, and we figured, if we get last time we were all on together, end of the game, we had some magic happen. So
right.
I don't know. I think we may.
Jaylen Brown just fouled out.
Okay.
12.1 seconds to go.
Wow.
Miami's up by 4. 107, 103. Miami taking it out in the backcourt. Oh,
it's 2-0 to LaStella right now also.
And they fouled Butler. So this game is over. We're going back to Miami for game 7. Eric Spoelstra.
Wow, 3-3. 3-3.
Yeah, we got the game 7.
Hey, this is good news for Golden State, guys. This is phenomenal news.
Phenomenal.
I just
did anybody get hurt earlier in this game, or has this been a pretty healthy game?
Butler twisted his ankle like a couple minutes ago.
It wasn't too bad though. Butler's at the line right now, and he's just made it a 2-possession impossible.
Carlo P. Rodon getting the Matt caned.
Matt
caned.
When I was going to bet on on Miami to win today, and
they were 8.5-point underdogs.
Called my brother who I put my bets through, and he had to go. Yeah. He was going golfing, and he couldn't get it. He goes, I got to go. And I said, will you be back before the game? He said, no, shoot. And I was going to bet Butler was going to get over, I think was like 22.5 or something.
Oh yeah, it was that was the concerning thing. Everyone thought that he must be injured because his
I would have had two bets I would have won.
You throw big dollars around, Danny? I mean, you're the financial planner. I mean,
$20.
What kind of wager?
I might have went 50 today because I felt kind of confident, but I don't bet very much.
Oh, I see. I just see the balls in play. I don't have the actual game on.
If I bet at all, so usually.
What's going on? Does anybody have the actual Giants game on?
Yeah, 2-2. But I'm probably a little behind because I'm streaming on MLB app. So
okay.
I just see the balls in play.
3-0. Giants
it
down,
into left field for a base hit.
Base hit. Let's go.
First and second, nobody out. The Giants are rallying.
Yeah,
it's all
just got a
because of
hit.
the Krug show.
There all right, 3-0 Reds. 3-0 Reds. No out, 2 on. Top 8. Giants rallying. Yeah. I was surprised in the Giants game that, as much as the Giants walk and as much as that young pitcher making his second appearance, what was his name? Graham Ashcraft. The guy was throwing 100, but supposedly he walked a ton of guys in the minor leagues, and they barely worked him for walks at all tonight.
No, they really didn't. And Wendelstedt was giving him some help with some high strikes. I couldn't believe it.
He was. How about the one to Senzel? Yeah. Where Senzel's like, "Are you kidding me? Excuse me?" He actually touched the umpire on the shoulder. He's like, "Excuse me? Pardon me?"
No, that's like a foot above the strike zone. Okay,
Val Ramos says, "Man, the Giants need a big bat. They have no runs in a huge offensive yard."
I know.
Game's over. Miami's just got fouled again. They're up by 6.
All right,
that game is over.
Okay,
game
so we're 1-1.
We're going back.
You know
to
what?
Boston.
I picked Boston in 7. I'm kind of like Larry. I'm kind of going back and forth. I think the momentum goes back to Miami right now. I mean, can you imagine how high they're going to be for getting to a game 7 with playing with their backs against the wall? Guys hurt.
Yeah. I mean, all the pressure's on Boston, I feel like.
Yaz takes a pitch outside, 1-0. You guys probably got ahead of me. What's this thing saying?
Mine says it's Wilmer.
1-1. Uh-oh. With how many out you got? No, I'm looking at Yaz.
Oh,
dude, how about Boston, by the way? Multiple collapses on their home floor.
Unreal.
Yeah.
We've been touting the home floor, but maybe it's, I don't know.
Golden State has not lost at home.
They haven't lost in Chase Center in the history of Chase Center in the playoffs.
Well, they lost that play into Memphis. So.
I know, but technically it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's a playoffs. Play-in's a playoffs to my mind.
So you're going to go see Top Gun tonight, huh?
Oh, yeah. I'm so stoked. The Rotten Tomatoes are just out of control. 97% critic, 99% audience.
Yaz pops it up on the infield.
Wasn't Tom Cruise at Oracle Park the other night? For the Mets? I thought he was. I thought somebody showed him there.
Showing it from last year because he was randomly at like a playoff game last year. Or maybe he was at the Mets game.
Oh, Wilmer's up now. Yeah, we got to get Jock up with runners on.
Yeah.
Look at that. The Celtics choke again at a chance to win it on their home court.
So is David Bell pulling the righty against Wilmer? Who's coming in here? I was going to another righty.
Oh, well, that means
I was thinking there's no way they're pulling him for a lefty against Wilmer. Wilmer crushes lefties.
Yeah, and who's behind Wilmer? Is it Jock? Let me see.
In the lineup?
Carol T. That is such a dad thing to say. Young's pitching against the Giants tonight.
Yeah, I got Peterson and Crawford behind Flores. So bringing in a righty, he's got to face 3 batters. So if the possibility that the Giants are able to get 2 lefties up against the righty.
2 hits for Crawford. He had the nice hit the other way. So yeah, it goes Flores, then Jock Peterson. And then Crawford, then Longoria.
Yeah. Let me get the game back on here.
Man, if you let's say you're a big Giants fan, but for whatever reason you've either been out of the country for a few weeks, or you haven't been following it this year because you're whatever, you got something going on, and you tune in or you look at the box score. Let me just check out my team's doing in the box score, and you're looking at this lineup and you're going, L. Gonzalez, who's that? D. Walton, who's that?
D. Walton.
M. Papirski.
M. Papirski. What was the other center fielder? I keep forgetting the center fielder. What was the guy's name?
What's that?
The right-handed center fielder, the little guy. Spencer? What was his name?
What was his name? Kraft? No.
Okay. Fairchild. Stewart.
Fairchild.
Yeah, I was going to say Spencer, like Stewart. Spencer Dinwiddie playing center field for the Giants. So they got, what was it? Walton? Check it out.
Walton, Gonzalez, and Papirski.
And then and if you had Padlo in there, and then you got
exactly.
Fairchild.
And
what was the other guy's name that was playing first base for a while? They gave him back to the Mariners.
Vosler.
Lefty. What was it? It was a left.
Luke Williams. I mean, they've had all kinds of guys that maybe you haven't even heard of, and then it's like, wow, Papirski, Walton, Gonzalez. And Gonzalez hitting 325 with a 372 on base.
Yeah.
All right, here's Wilmer Flores with a couple on, and he hits singles to left immediately.
Oh.
Bingo, bango.
Are we talking bases loaded?
Bases loaded, yeah.
Peterson.
Bags juiced for Jock Peterson.
Didn't I say?
By the way, mixed it up with Tommy Pham. Did you guys talk about Tommy Pham and Jock Peterson?
What did I say though at the top of this inning? I said I want to announce a grand slam.
You did?
Did you?
I did. But I'm a little behind you.
Dan Coccimilgio will be giving away a Chevy Chevette.
Yeah. Hey, I got it. 2 tickets.
2 tickets?
If Jock hits a grand slam,
what are you
giving?
do
a little contest tonight, and I'm going to give away 2 tickets to a Giants game on let's see who's the next homestand. I know we're not to the Dodgers.
Look at Dan Coccimilgio.
Those are my money makers.
Buster must be nearby. He never talks this confidently without Buster nearby.
Let's see, Jock.
Did they walk Peterson? They walked Peterson.
You're way ahead of me, man.
Wait, whoa.
Either they just hit Peterson.
They hit him.
They hit him.
Crawford's they intentionally walked him. No, it was an inside pitch. It hit him on the wrist or the elbow?
Just barely grazed him, yeah.
3-1 Bags juice. Let's see. Inside pitch.
Tom Pierce. Oh, no.
Didn't even hit him. Didn't hit him at all.
Oh, really?
He sold it.
He sold it. That didn't hit him at all.
Let me see. Let's see. It might have hit his.
No, hit nothing. I just saw it in high def on a 50-inch TV. He did not hit him. Oh, Giants got a break there.
Are they going to challenge it again, though? Because they already challenged it once.
Here comes Crawford. They just threw the first pitch to Crawford. There will be no challenge. So Crawford up, Bags loaded, 1-0 count. Crawford's a historically great hitter with the bags drunk.
Okay, Larry, do the play-by-play. Come on.
No, Dan. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm stepping all over you.
No, you go ahead. You're ahead of me. I'm 30 seconds behind you.
All right. Here we go. Crawford just took the second pitch up high. You got a 1-1 count.
Background. Tell us about some family.
Crawford went to UCLA from Pleasanton. Went to Foothill High School here in the Bay Area. Has tremendous shine to his hair. And here comes the pitch, and he takes it. It's 95, of course, 4-seamer up in the zone. Craw's not going for that. It's 2-1.
Beautiful.
It had rained earlier tonight. The game started with a 2-hour and 8-minute rain delay. If you're just tuning in, you're saying, why is this game still going on? Started at 3:00 in the afternoon. It's now.
I tuned into KMBR.
Larry's doing the play-by-play here.
Ground ball, second, 4, 6, 3, double play, and the Reds get out of it.
No way.
4, 6, 3, double play.
Oh my goodness.
And we go to the bottom of the 8th.
Hey, challenge that. He was only out by 4 steps. Challenge it.
Oh, see, I was gonna say this would have been sacrilegious, but like the way Jock's been hitting the ball. Like, I almost would have rather just not gotten that run, just let him hit.
Seriously. Also, it's bad karma it's bad karma there. It's like he clearly didn't get hit.
Step aside. I'm getting sweaty. I got to turn the air down.
Gosh. Danny's in Arizona right now, just dying. Oh, man. Carlo P, don't ever let Larry do play-by-play ever again. Thank you. Exactly. This will not be on the demo tape. So, big night in sports. Giants trying to come back. Miami extends Boston. They're going back to Miami for Game 7. What do you guys think? Who's going to win Game 7? Is Boston going to get it done on the road, or are the Heat going to squeeze through?
I just don't think Miami has enough offense unless it's kind of like an all-time meltdown situation by. I just don't know if Jimmy Butler's healthy and we see the same Jimmy Butler, Miami could win. But I'm just like a little worried that he might have just emptied the chamber tonight.
What do you think, Danny? You got to like the home team in Game 7, right?
Yeah.
You want Game 7 at home, but Hero could be available to come off the bench. There was a game time decision tonight, and he couldn't go with an extra day and a half or so.
Hero.
Therapy.
It's tough. I heard that his injury, like normally he would have been out a month. So
it's a growing injury. So, maybe he can give him 5 minutes. I don't know. It's so tough because you can't move laterally with a growing injury. It's very hard to guard guys and cut and, so easy to tear it, when you're that way. But I something told me today that we're going to see, the NBA just named the top 15 coaches of all time this year. And Steve Kerr and Eric Spoelstra are two on that list. So I don't know, when I was thinking of the game and how he would get these guys ready to play, I just thought, could we see an NBA Finals with two of the top 15 coaches of all time that are, I don't know how long Spoelstra been
enamel on a daily
coaching.
basis with Pro Enamel Repair toothpaste.
He's a terrific coach. He really is.
Somebody's
by the way, look at the box score tonight for
you've got a Pro Enamel Repair
toothpaste. Yeah, we're advertising Pro Enamel.
Am I?
Butler drives, goes inside.
How's that? Any better?
Yeah.
There we go.
For some reason, it just went on the
I
thing.
can't believe Crawford hit that. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I was thinking if Jock could have come up and not got hit and got a pitch to hit, and that short porch in right field. Oh, man. What's Kapler?
Nobody's getting tickets.
Yeah, no tickets. Yeah.
So much for that.
What's Kapler got going here? Well, I will.
Just one thought on Miami Boston tonight, guys. I'm just looking at the box score. My goodness. Boston, Williams played 26 minutes. He grabbed 1 rebound. 1.
What?
Horford shot 5 threes. He only made 1. He was 1 for 8 from the field, finished with 3 points. Why did Boston lose? Their inside guys no-showed. Williams, 12 points, 1 rebound. And that's just putrid. That's really, really bad. And then, Tatum wound up with 30.
He had like 24 in the first quarter and a half.
But he also had 7 turnovers by himself. That's a lot of turnovers for a big man. So who's not typically your ball handler. So
it's got 47.
47 for Jimmy Butler. 47, 9, and 8. Almost a triple-double.
Wow.
Jimmy Butler at times can look like the best player in the NBA.
Wow, look at this, guys. Jake McGee comes into the game.
He's coming out now.
Jake McGee came in, and he was not on the lineup card. And so he's being pulled. Never
that
seen
is
anything
embarrassing.
like that. How do you not be on the lineup card if he's on the roster? Sean.
Well, you have to include an entire lineup card that has everybody.
Oh, okay.
It shows
Sean,
your full arsenal. So they didn't list him, I guess.
Sean Estes.
So we haven't gotten into the Jock.
That's a huge screw up.
Yeah, Estes goes, oh, that's Jake McGee's shortest outing of his career.
So what was the deal with Jock? It was something about a fantasy football thing?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a report that Peterson and Pham got into a little dust up in the outfield. We saw the video of it. Supposedly he slapped Jock Peterson in the face in the pregame about over a fight over fantasy football.
Yeah. Hey, athletes are just like us, right?
Hey, listen, man. Julio Jones is coming off the injured list, and I'm putting him in the lineup in week 17. Get over here. You are not. Backhands him. These guys play for real. I don't know if I ever told you this. I was doing an interview of Kevin Millar. Remember Kevin Millar?
Oh, yeah.
In the Red Sox clubhouse. And I'm like, Kev, you got time to they rolled in an April series early in the year, obviously, like first series of the year against the A's years ago when he was in Boston. And I said, Kevin, love to do an interview with you, man. And he's like, oh, anytime, Krug. And it's like, well, I interviewed him a bunch when he was with the Marlins. And so I'm like, and he's like, but you know what? I got one issue. I'm like, go ahead. What is it? And he's like, I got to pay my fantasy football dues, and I got to pay them before like 4:00 they're due. And I don't know how much they are.
Or else I'm getting slapped.
I might have to cut a check in the middle of the interview. I'm like, cut away. Do what you got to do. Well, can we make a bid out of it? And he's like, absolutely. So somebody comes up and says, hey, Kev, I want your check. And he goes, how much? And all of a sudden I'm looking, he hands me the check to hand to the guy. Cause the guy was his teammate that wanted, I think it was a coach, was a couple feet away. I looked down at the check. It was $5,000. $5,000 was their buy-in. The Red Sox buy-in on their fantasy league, like in the 90s. I mean, or maybe the early 2000s, whatever he was with Boston. I guess it was 2007, something like that. $5,000. And I'm like, at the end of the interview, I'm like, are you serious, man? You're paying $5,000 as you're buying? He's like, oh, hell yeah. Guys are serious about that. Guys are serious about fantasy around here. And so when you hear guys are mixing it up in the outfield, just know that maybe they're playing for big bucks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if it's a $5,000 buy-in, I'm not exactly sure. We usually pay, I think, a $40 or $50 buy-in, and I think the winner still gets a lot at the end. So imagine what you're getting on a $5,000.
Yeah, how many years ago
buy-in.
was that? That was probably 5-6 years ago.
He was with Boston.
So that's probably like $100,000 to the winner, $20,000.
$10,000 buy-in now.
I was going to say, those guys, they'll be calling Dan Coccimilgio. They get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So are you, I don't know if you guys saw this graphic, but Jimmy Butler, now the second player in NBA history with multiple 40-point game and 4 steal games. 40 points and 4 steals in multiple games in a series. The only other player, Michael Jordan, 1988.
Wow. That's good company right there.
Wow. Jimmy Butler. Wow. I mean, Miami got
nothing from their bench. Look at their bench. Their bench produced 16 points. That's it. It was all Jimmy Butler tonight. Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry.
I think I'd love to see the Warriors play Miami in the sense that Miami's bench is, Warriors can maybe wear them down, but and GP2 can guard Butler too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little worried that there's bad juju of Draymond's coming out on TNT and saying that they're going to play Boston.
Well, exactly. I mean, that doesn't help. But you know what? Boston. Yeah. I think Boston's got more left in the tank. Lowry's dinged up, Butler's dinged up. I will say this though, from watching Miami, the kid who played at Nevada, is it Caleb Martin, the twin?
Yeah, under Muss.
He's playing well.
Yeah,
playing well for them. I mean, he plays fast. He's got a nice shot, pretty athletic, gets out in the open floor. I mean, he's not bad. He's when they're getting offense from Martin and from Dustin Robinson and our Duncan Robinson and Oladipo, man, they're really tough. But I still would rather, if I'm Golden State, I'd rather play Miami than Boston. Because I think you can win on the road in Miami easier than you can win on the road in Boston. I know Miami has shown that they can win on the road in Boston, but it's a tough place to play.
They won 2 out of the 3.
Yeah,
they played in Boston. Yeah, it'd be kind of weird for Boston to win 2 out of 4 in
Miami.
Or would that be 3? They would if Boston wins, they would win 3 out of the 4 in Miami. Yeah, because they only won 1 home game, right? They went 1-2.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. That'd be a road.
Yeah, it's like the Raptors Warriors when it was all just the road teams winning.
Wow,
it's amazing too. Boston got 22 off the bench from Derek White, and they still wind up losing.
Yeah.
Look at Boston as far as that box. I mean, Horford had 3 points. Robert Williams had 12 points, but 1 rebound. Grant Williams, who normally does great things for them off the bench, played 17 minutes, wound up with 2 points, 2 rebounds in 17 minutes. And that's not good. Too. So, I mean, interesting series for sure. What do you guys make? What do you guys say to the people who say these NBA playoffs have been awful?
I mean, this Eastern Conference Finals has been particularly horrible to watch, just from a game to game enjoyment standpoint. But I mean, it's a compelling series in the fact that it's going 7, I guess. But I think the Warriors, I mean, this Western Conference Finals, I mean, you could say it was like maybe a little boring outside of game 2, but for Warriors fans, it wasn't boring, because like it's just nice.
Yeah, what do you think has been of all the playoffs? What do you think's been the best series so far?
I think Celtics, Bucks, Warriors, Grizzlies.
And Warriors Grizzlies was pretty good.
But
I don't see
Phoenix.
Yeah, I don't see the signature series so far in these playoffs.
There hasn't been that. Yeah, those close buzzer beater games, anything down to the wire. Ooh, Alvarez just plucked Moustakas first and second.
Timberwolves. Some of the first round series, like Timberwolves Grizzlies, was good, and
I thought that was a pretty good series. Because
that
Minnesota
was
Anthony actually outplaying them and was ahead and they lost every game in the fourth quarter. They had leads. It was like it's been really good, I think, in the commentating with a good possible career after basketball has been Pat Bev. He's been really saying a lot of good things about Curry.
Yeah.
And
you're talking about Beverly?
Yeah. I mean,
he might want that vet min next year.
Yeah. Is he a free agent with Minnesota?
I'm not sure.
You can check that. I think he'd be a great addition for Golden State. That shutdown. If you get another shutdown on your pesky defender to go with Gary Payton, my goodness.
If they lost Payton. One thing my brother said to me
all for a flat money.
That I think you're commercials again.
Oh, there we go. Better?
Yeah. So he was saying, or I think it was him that said it, or maybe you said it, Larry. Somebody told me that if GP2 plays in the finals, that you'll be showcasing him and he'll get a big contract from somebody else.
Well, I mean, if he could somehow play, suffocating defense in the finals, in Boston, high profile Reds just got a ball in the gap. They just scored to the 4th run.
Oh, gee.
Now they're 4-1, pulling away in the 8th against Alvarez. I'll say this about the Giants, by the way. You can say what you want about the pitching in this game, but you go roll into the Great American Ballpark with 1 run, you're not beating anybody. That place is a live yard.
After scoring 22 runs the last 2 games, they've got 1 run.
Got to be so pissed.
Hey, I think it was. I just saw a highlight on ESPN. Hockey looked like the Avalanche and the Blues. I think they were playing I don't know if maybe it was game 6 tonight, but it was 2-2 with 7 seconds left, and somebody got a goal for Colorado. I think that was tonight. I'll have to look that up.
Hey, did you guys see the Kapler is no longer going out there for the anthem?
You're going to bring up that. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that.
Well, I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, that to me is interesting. Obviously, it's his political statement. Some people would say, save your political statements and figure out the lineup, and especially tomorrow. But I personally, I mean, do you everybody's got a different thought. Some people are like, hey, just you're disrespecting the flag. I mean, I give you an example. Somebody came out and sent me an email today. It was a regular on the show, regular listener, and was all pushed out of shape by it, and was like, hey, this is not what I want to see, so on and so forth. Let me see if I can find it.
I've got a comment too from somebody.
Romo. Romo 2001 said, I'm getting tired of sports encompassing politics. Instead of focusing on the sports they play, I can get all the political thought elsewhere. Please keep it out of sports.
Here's one of the people on my timeline said, at Sports Larry K, feel less of a Giants fan today after Kapler said he will not come out for the national anthem moving forward. Just a disgusting move. That was his thought. No, I won't say who said that to me. It was just one of the people on my timeline who's a regular.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. It's like, either you're okay with people making their political statements or you're not. It's as simple as that. Are you for it when you would disagree with the person, or are you only for it if you agree with the person? See, that's where, were you for Sam Coonrod making his personal statement? Or is that personal statement because you didn't agree with Sam Coonrod's personal statement that you didn't like it? I think more times than not, people don't really have a philosophy as much as if they agree with the protest, then they're okay with the protest. If they disagree with the protest, then they're not okay with the protest.
Right.
I think you have to decide if you're okay with political protests or not. And then tell me who's protesting what. You know what I mean?
Well,
don't
here's
tell
one
me
that
how you feel. I mean, I think we're all disgusted that those children got killed, and there's nobody who feels good about this. Now it's just a matter of what can be done to improve this situation. What can be done? There's nothing there is no guarantee that this is never going to happen again. But when you see how often it happens in America, damn right, there's a lot of people that are really disgusted and really angry and really frustrated.
Absolutely.
And want to hear answers. And so, you know what? My first inclination would be like, Cap, do your job and don't, leave politics to other people. At the same time, you know what? If he feels strongly enough about this topic, and this is the statement he wants to make, I'm not going to tell him that he's wrong. I want to see, I think we all at this point want to see change. It's just a matter of now we got to debate and we got to figure out what's the best change.
Right.
What is going to minimize this situation? Is it getting serious about mental health? Is it about gun control? Is it about automatic weapons? Is it about age limits? Is it about, there's all kinds of other discussions that we can get into, and it's a big political divide. And I'm not trying to go political. I don't want to go political, but it is the Giants manager, and he is making a significant statement, and it did get national ESPN.com. I think it's like the second or third story. Once again, do you agree with, what he said, with how he views this? I'm sure Gabe, I didn't hear what Gabe had to say. I don't know if he had to say anything, but does he feel really strongly about, gun laws have to change and this and that? Or is he, what does he want? What change is he trying to see enacted? Or is he just basically saying, you know what? I am so goddamn tired of children getting massacred in America. And I just want to use my platform as the manager of this high profile team whose games are on national TV every night to let everybody know, to try to put a little pressure on this gridlock that we have in Washington that is preventing any real action from taking place.
I wonder if he's had any contact with Kerr.
Maybe he saw Kerr. I'm sure he saw Kerr's thoughts on it. So
anyway. He made the comment that the other night after the game, I guess Wednesday afternoon's game, he felt in his mind that he should kneel but his body didn't respond, and then he didn't do anything, and he felt like a coward. So he said, I'm going to not actually walk out for the national anthem until I see some direction of the country. I think he was not only referring to Wednesday, but the Buffalo situation, a week or two ago. And but here's a comment that was posted on a Facebook group. What in the world? Oh gosh!
Hey, Dan,
the Reds had bases loaded, and they grounded out to end the inning. And I think
catcher's interference on Papierski hit his glove.
Bart? I think that's Bart.
Is that Bart?
Bart's in there because Papierski was pinch hit for. Let me see.
Hey guys, sorry to leave on this slightly somber note, but in speaking of America, for everyone watching, I'm about to go see the new Top Gun. I've had it planned for a week. Just this stupid rain delay is causing me to have to jump. So I'm sorry for leaving you fellas, but
no problem, man. Have a great rest of your Friday night
time.
And take the rest of the weekend off. How about that?
I'll
the rest of the weekend off.
All right. So
man.
See you, Ryan. Have a good
Take it
time.
easy.
So Giants go to the top of the ninth, down 5-1 now. So here's a comment that was on Facebook, and this is kind of an interesting comment. I was reading several comments, but this one kind of struck me. How can a Major League Baseball manager who is paid handsomely to mold a diverse group of grown men into a well-oiled team be so stupid to alienate a huge percentage of the fan base by being so blatantly ignorant on Memorial Day weekend? Mind-boggling. So
that's what I'm saying. People have when you put the flag out there, there's just going to be an awful lot of people who are just going to sit there and, start, you're attacking, in their mind, you're attacking America. And that means you're attacking the people who fight for our freedoms. And they extrapolate the argument right out to, you're anti-America, you're anti-America military, you're not proud to be an American, so on and so forth.
There's people
and obviously
that will do that.
There's a lot of nuance to all this stuff. And I wish people would, instead of, hurling insults at each other, would try to understand one another a little bit.
Right. Exactly. I think personally, there's a way to handle the situation. We throw money around as the politicians. We're talking billions. How much did they donate to Ukraine recently? $40 billion. You could secure every schoolyard in America with total security and have basically where there's no entrance without, it could be like a very locked down type of situation, almost like prisons. Unfortunately, you don't want to make schools look like prisons, but for the safety, I'd much rather have my kids feel safe knowing that they're going to be picked up and come home safely than have to worry about someone breaking in. You usually don't worry about someone storming a prison, right? There's ways to lock these things down, have armed guards. For the amount of money that we spend on so many things in this country that don't seem to, help everyday Americans. I don't know. Everything's become so politicized that it's hard for me to follow any political group.
No, I hear you. I mean, and I'll say this. Normally, not just normally, almost, intentionally, I run from any kind of political debate or talk or even mention on the show. Why? Because there's about 15 people in every medium there is who know more about it than yours truly, and you should go listen to one of them if that's the discussion you want to have. And I, me, I try to present myself as somebody who does their homework on the sports that we cover. So the last thing I want to do is then, delve into all these areas of conversation in which I'm not prepared to speak, and start making all kinds of waves and strong statements. At the same time, this is our world, right? And it bleeds into every aspect of society. I don't want to turn our show, which is a fun show, into a political thing. Why? Because I think people come to sports as an escape. We all know that the world's screwed up. We all know that there's a lot of tragedy, a lot of pain, a lot of hate. There's a lot of ugliness in our world. Domestically, globally, it's all there. And so what is sports? Why do Americans love sports? We love it because it's a diversion. It's a diversion. I remember, was it Richard Nixon or one ex-president said, I read the sports page first because it's the one place I can go where I can consistently read about men's accomplishments and not their failures. And I thought that's, it's always one element that's attracted me to sports is that, sports is the unifying body in our society. I mean, think about all the different terrible things we've endured, 9/11 and Katrina, and sports has been at the forefront of putting communities back together. Look what J.J. Watt did for Houston. Look what Drew Brees did for New Orleans. How quickly people forget that. Look at how people commiserated coast to coast, in San Francisco to New York and back, in the post 9/11, and how united the country was at that point, and how together people really were compared to how polarized things are right now. So, I'm not going to sit here and lecture anybody about how you feel. How you feel is how you feel. That's what Gary. It's funny doing all those shows for years with Radnich. That's when, tough topics would come up. He'd be like, hey, how you feel is how you feel. And we're not going to change it.
Yeah. I lived back in Connecticut when 9/11 happened. That
hit close to home for a lot of people there.
Yeah. My son was playing Pop Warner football, and it was 2 weeks later, they suspended, the games that follow that particular weekend. And then it was the weekend following, they were playing a team from Southern Connecticut, and there were kids on that other team who had lost parents in the World Trade Center. It was pretty weird. Yeah. And then my son and we had tickets to the Monday Night Football. The first Monday Night Football game after the week's games were canceled, they were playing the Jets in the Meadowlands. And so we drove over, whatever it was, 2.5 hour drive to the Meadowlands. And it was weird, Larry, because I kept looking up all night, above, like thinking about planes, coming into it's just so weird because it was really the first sporting event in New York for football. They had kind of started baseball back up again, but it was a Monday night game, and I think Frank Gore was Gore on that team? No, not then, was he?
Yeah.
Was that 2001?
Yeah. He was there. He was absolutely there.
Yeah. Cause they ran all over the Jets.
Oh, wait, 2001.
Yeah. I don't know who the running.
Maybe that was Garrison Hurst.
Might've been Hurst. Yeah.
Was that Candlestick?
No, it was in the Meadowlands. Yeah.
Maybe that. Well, maybe that. You look that up. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I was curious.
Romo 2001. He says, I'm getting tired of sports encompassing politics instead of focusing on the sports they play. I can get all the political thought elsewhere. Please keep it out of sports.
Yep.
Romo 2001, I'm with you. And as I just stated, it's like, people come running to sports as an escape to get away from the political discussion. So I understand where you're coming from. But then there's also people whose lives are within sports, whether they be coaches or media people or athletes themselves, that they're trying to tell you by speaking out on these things that they're not comfortable with just, hey, I'm a sports figure and I'm only here to play sports. I want to tell, I'm a citizen as well, and I want to tell you how I feel about things that are going on in our world, and I want to be an agent for change, positive change. And I think that's all Kapler, I think, is saying, is that he sees the hate, he sees the evil, he sees the problem. I think we all see the problem, and he's trying to highlight the problem to apply whatever pressure he can apply to the leaders to enact change. And I don't think there's any doubt. The one thing that we can say is we have a problem.
We do.
We have a problem. I think that's where it starts, right? And we have to kind of sit here and say, hey, folks, we got a problem. We got a real problem. We have people gunned down all throughout the country, and we have kids getting gunned down in their schools. I mean, this is a real problem, and it's not just happening everywhere at the same rate. It's happening here. It's happening here, and it's happening way too often, and it's way too regular. And I agree with Kerr. At some point, you're just kind of disgusted. And I'm not saying that it was a song and dance. I think that's the way he honestly feels, because Steve Kerr's lived it.
Yeah, he's very passionate.
Steve Kerr lost his father to gunfire, and this hits very, very close to home for him.
Right.
So I understand the people who are like, yeah, but he's a hypocrite because of this. We're all hypocrites.
Right.
We're all hypocrites. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody is a freaking hypocrite. You could go right down the list. There's something that you're doing that you're not walking the walk. You're talking the talk, but you're not walking the walk. And everybody, myself included, we're all hypocrites to some degree.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Kerr's very passionate about seeing change. Athletes, I think everybody saw him speak out. And I'm sure a guy who's as aware and as intelligent as Gabe Kapler and as progressive thinking as he is, I'm sure is sitting there thinking to myself, man, I'm living a great life, and I'm making a pretty good buck. And I got a lot of people who want to listen to me talk. And there's a lot of people who are paying attention to this platform, which is MLB. And I want to use this platform to enact change. And we need change. And I'm not sure if he's spoken out directly, Danny, on what he wants to see.
I haven't heard that.
I haven't either. But you know what? To me, it's like if you feel that passionately about it and you're willing to absorb whatever negatives coming your way, to me, that's a form of courage. It's not physical courage, but it's a form of courage. I'm not saying that he's risking anything. He's not Curt Flood. He's not Billie Jean King. He's not a rebel. He's not standing for something at considerable cost to himself. That's not who he is. But I think he's just a guy who's saying, you know what? This disgusts me, and I got to do something, and I don't know what to do, and so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to call attention to it, and hopefully there'll be enough people who do something similar, and it will advance this discussion and advance this movement, and this will be a safer, better world for it. And so I think that's where he's coming from in his heart. So even though I'm kind of with the people who are like, hey man, I don't want everybody's political statement wrapped up in my sports every single night. I just don't. I go to sports as a diversion. It's the toy department of life, and I don't want that. I get that, and I'm with you. But then I also understand Cap, and without talking to him, I can see where he's coming from. Going, hey, you know what? My life's pretty damn good, and I want to do something to make sure that this is a better world, and this is what I think is the right thing to do, and so I'm going to do it. So, I don't know. I think I'd support his Even though my father was a military man, my grandfather was in the Army. I'm a patriot. I'm someone who believes in the flag, believes in our military, but at the same time, I understand where these people are coming from. I really do. And I understand I understand the desperation that people feel, because we all feel it, man. I feel it. I've got 4 kids. I got a daughter. I got 3 sons. They mean everything to me. And if all this dialogue that bleeds into sports leads to us coming up with some kind of workable solution or reform that makes our world safer and makes our classroom safer, heck, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it.
It's been said, and it's pretty tough to legislate evil. When someone's intent on killing somebody, it's, what do you do? I mean, you take all the guns away. I mean, you look at Chicago, how many shootings happen there? And they've got some of the toughest gun laws in America. And then you look at some clown drives his vehicle down and mows down people in a parade. How do you legislate that? What do you do? Say, okay, no more cars allowed anywhere near it's just frustrating. But I think
we got to get to the source of why there's so much hate, why there's so much, I think we got to deal a little bit more. We can't throw people away in our society. We have to deal with the mental health issues that people do have, and not just be like, well, we can't afford it. We're going to have to, because we're all tied together, and right. Our freedoms tie us together. So, it would be easy to say, well, you know what, you deal with your problem, I'll deal with my problems. But in reality, everybody, we gather in supermarkets and stadiums and restaurants and on the street, and we're all tied together. Yeah. It's important that people continue to care and look for answers.
Yeah. I mean, you said something earlier. You said if people really care about the issue, if someone's protesting and they care about it's on their side of you, then they're for it. But if it's against their side, maybe they're not for it. And, and I don't like to get political here because but you mentioned we're all kind of hypocrites, right? This was a group
nobody's consistent all the way through. There's something that you're doing that's not consistent with some philosophy that you have. That's all I meant by that.
For example, and I hate to bring this up, but if this was a group of children of 18 and they were all African American, there would be a whole different cry from the Black community than there is right now. This is mostly a Spanish community. And it's, to me, every life matters. And and I love what Kerr, he's been consistent on the matter. And I don't think any ethnic group should come into it. It's American lives that are being, taken away by, and there does need to be some things done with gun control, background checks or whatever, but I'm not against, I should say, good gun laws. I don't know if people need an AR-15 for, I don't know. I know a lot of people that have them and they use them for just hunting or whatever. But as I said, you can't really legislate evil, but I'm not for.
How about this? How about this? What do you think of this as an idea? The age. I think you can be 18 and get a gun. Why not make it 24, 25?
Yeah.
I think most studies will show that the human brain is still kind of forming, at 18. And so I think
pretty young.
18. I'm thinking about
the argument is think
about your own age, though. Think about your own life.
But the argument is
you're sending
18-year-olds off to war, So hey, if you're putting them in harm's way to be,
but why not? I mean, why not is anybody really going to be damaged if suddenly you can't buy a gun till you're 24?
No, I didn't know my first one until I was in
most people's
late
mistakes. 40s. Most people's biggest mistakes come between like 16 and like 22.
Yeah,
And that's what I did. Most of the dumbest things I did in life, I did between 16 and 22. Not all, but most.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it just seems like, man, you can't vote until you're 21, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
but you
can buy a gun when you're 18.
The thing,
you can't rent a car, but you can buy an assault rifle.
Right. And
that's America.
I think both sides are in agreement that hopefully they never take away the guns from America, because, then you could have tyranny. That's what the guns, freedom to the right to bear arms was always about, a government becoming.
It's not about taking people's guns. It's about gun reform. Right. It's not about the idea of taking people's right to bear arms. Nobody's going with you on that. You're never going to win that battle. But you know what? Reform. What about real reform? How about pushing that age back? How about taking the assault rifles off the market altogether? How about how about just continuing to advance the discussion and vote on things that most people care about, and not just be beholden to the lobbyists.
Here I'm seeing Celts Chronicle says everything is set up to divide in most eyes and thrive on drama and being right. Religion, politics, sports, ethnicity, belief, arguments. Got a point. Yep.
Yeah, no question. Yeah. But, I will say this. I do love forums like this, because we can have a free form of ideas, and everybody can kind of voice their own opinion. But, the one thing is that we're all united around is that what we saw was evil, and we need to eradicate evil in our world, and we need to have the courage to stand up to it, and we need to have the courage to identify it, and we have to enact change.
Well, you got to have tougher
if you do the
laws
same thing over and over and over again, and you expect a different result, you're crazy, right?
I'll tell you, in other countries, they don't put up with some of this stuff. If you're caught, let's say this guy didn't get killed. All right. The shooter, he spends years in the court system before he's even brought to justice. If he did it and you watched him do it, you just take these people out immediately. There's no need to go to court and have trials when someone is caught completely. I understand the right to a free, you're innocent until proven guilty. Well, you're guilty if you're caught red-handed in the act. So, but that's the problem with, we got so much stuff with laws and people drag these things on. And, so I think if we had tougher laws that we dealt with things immediately on some of these things, maybe some of the evil gets squashed. But right now, this kid who did this and the others that have done it, they're not even caring if they die. They don't even, they're so messed up psychologically that they could care less. They just want to go out and kill people.
And it makes you wonder why. Why are we seeing an uptick? Why?
There's a lot. I think we're seeing a lot because of the pandemic.
You think that's the reason?
You locked people up for almost a year.
Let me throw one at you. Tell me what you think of this. When we were kids, you went to video games were in their infancy. I mean, heck, when you were a kid, they didn't even exist. When I was a kid, we had Pong,
Yeah.
And then, basic things, and then arcade games and asteroids and things. Now you've got all these games where people are shooting. And they're shooting and they're shooting and they're shooting. So many of these video games that these kids play, and I've got teenagers, and so many of these games are about shooting things.
Yeah,
and it's like mindlessly shooting things. And I kind of think there's got to be some connection between staring at a screen for endless hours, mindlessly shooting things, and at least the curiosity to actually want to shoot an actual gun.
Well, when you're
where
shooting people in those
look what
video
we had.
games,
We had squirt guns,
yeah,
and cap guns.
exactly.
And I loved my cap gun when I was 12. Do you remember cap guns?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
they had
little
the red caps,
yeah,
and
the little with
all
the
that
hole
stuff.
in
You
them,
smelled the gunpowder in
yeah,
your hand,
exactly.
and,
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah,
it
we
made
had
a
all
little
that.
clap. And then there was fun snaps. Remember fun snaps?
Yeah.
You pick those things up and you throw them on the ground. There's a little gunpowder in there. Would make a little
Shoot, when I
snap.
grew up, Larry, we didn't have, like you said, I didn't have video games, nothing electronic. We had a TV that I think our rabbit ears or whatever they were called. I think we got like 5 channels, and we had 20 Giants games to watch growing up for the whole year.
Right.
So
Gary Park.
Gary Park. We got to see the Dodgers and the Padres, and the Rockies didn't even exist. So basically,
none of the games were the home games.
They were all
the
road
first
games.
time I ever saw a candlestick on TV, it was like, wow, look at that. It's a home game. It's on TV.
Yeah, we saw nine games against the Padres on the road and 9 Dodger games, and we might have had 1 or 2. It was either 18 to 20 games. And so when the game came on, it was like, wow, the Giants are on tonight. So, but all we did is we played outside every sport that was in season. So if it was basketball season, we were playing basketball. If it was baseball, we were at the park playing ball, or football. I mean, heck, we played football right out in the front yard in the street.
But we didn't have this. We didn't have the hours of shooting. Think about all the shooting in these. How many times these kids shoot things and become desensitized to shooting because they're playing these games where you're shooting everything.
Yeah,
I got to think there's some connection to that. We weren't playing. We didn't spend that kind of time shooting. Now, I don't know if there's any relation. I really don't know. But it makes me wonder sometimes. Makes me wonder all these different games where everybody's shooting everything.
I think you got a point, Larry, with a really solid point with the video games, because these people are sitting there shooting people. There's no sad feelings of, you don't see the parents crying.
You're doing good things.
Yeah,
if you're shooting things,
you're scoring points or whatever.
Right.
I whatever you do. I've never played any. I don't even look at them, but I have no idea. But I can imagine that it's all about winning. I've seen some things come across my computer, or ads and stuff, that shooting and you just hit this but guys who are doing this, there's no emotion. Okay. They don't have any emotion of sadness. They don't see the parents and the siblings crying afterwards. They have no feelings. And so
Matthew Mears says, don't blame the games. That's not it. It's the upbringing and mental health. Yeah. What if it's a combo? What if it's a combination? What if it's mental health, but it's also a mental health and somebody who's fascinated on shooting because they shoot all day? Anonymous. No, Larry, other countries have video games too. They just have tougher gun laws where we do not. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's as simple as that. I don't have the answer, and I'm not sitting here. Believe me, if this is coming across like a lecture, this should not, because I'm not. Well, I don't have answers. I really don't. I'm just trying to wrap my arms around. Obviously, the pressure that everybody's feeling this week is just so. We all want to do the right thing. We all want to say nobody wants to see this continue. Everybody wants to see this behavior eradicated. There has to be some form, some forums where we can have national discussion and not get into these polarizations of, left and right, and just everybody's dug in, and, you're denying what happened for your political benefits, and we have to advance this discussion. And we've tried, it's always been an uncomfortable discussion. And thus, what we do with uncomfortable discussions? We don't have them.
Yeah, we don't have them.
We just don't have them. It's a tough thing to talk about.
Let's tell you about anonymous.
We can't not talk about it anymore, Danny, because we're now seeing this happen so much that it's like not talking about it. It's like the Billy Bean line. Hope is not a game plan.
Yeah. I've been to Singapore 3 times. Okay. My wife and I have vacationed over there, and it is a wonderful place. It's so safe and clean, and I don't believe they allow guns at all. So in some way, the comment that was made by I don't know who made that. Was it Anonymous or yeah, must be. We were walking out on the street after midnight, go out, have something to eat and walk, and you're totally safe. You don't have to worry about anything. And there's something to be said for strict laws and having, people abide by those rules. I accidentally came out of a restaurant and just kind of naturally was walking and just kind of spit real quick, on the ground, and that's illegal. So I was like, whoa.
There'll be no spitting in Singapore.
Yeah. So it's like, if I was caught, I could have been fined and, but they have a lot of laws that, that are a little bit different. The freedoms are a little different, but then again, it's a safe, beautiful place, and people like living there. So I don't know. I don't know what the answers are, but it's hard.
Vicky says tougher gun laws in other countries, and they have less mass shootings.
It is true.
So,
I mean, but
I don't know.
Here we are. It's hard to talk about it, like you said, with sport. A lot of people want to come to sports and just have it get away from all of it.
Right. This is their escape from this conversation. Yeah. But sometimes I wonder, I think what guys like Cap are saying, Danny, is that, you know what? I'm glad that you support us. I'm glad that you watch our sport, but I don't want to be a release. I don't want to just be a diversion. Yes, I realize I'm a baseball manager, but I'm not comfortable working at the toy store of life. Mm-hmm. And I want to have meaning, and I want to have impact, and I want to enact change, and I want our world to be better, and I want to be a part of it. And I get, where he's coming from. I do, because it's probably somewhat of a hollow existence. You're making huge money and everybody's looking up to you. But then when you do speak out and say something about what's in your heart and how you feel and how you want change, then all of a sudden it's like, people start attacking you and ridiculing you, telling you to stay in your lane, telling you to stick to baseball and stick to managing and
shut up and dribble.
Shut up and dribble. Yeah, I mean, all the people that want you to stay in your lane and not put any pressure. And he's saying, you know what? I'm doing this on purpose. I want to put pressure on the people who have voted these things down in the past, and I want to see change enacted, and I want to see it right now. And so I do understand that frustration. I do understand that urgency. I respect the passion, and his heart's in the right place. He's coming from a good place, right?
Yeah.
Whether you agree with what he wants and what his view of how to improve this situation or not, that's a totally separate and different conversation. But as far as just his desire to stand up and say something, I think that's a positive. Now, I know people would say, "Oh man, I'm so tired of it," and this and that. And I don't want to hear lectures from Popovich and Kerr, and I want those guys to just do what they do and stay out of it, kind of a thing. I understand that, but now when you deal with subjects that are really about life and death, and we're talking about mass killings of children in their school and all their innocence. Forget their innocence. Their entire experience has been torn apart. I'm a father of 4. I couldn't go on. I couldn't sit here and talk about the Giants or the Niners or the draft or the NBA draft or the finals. Exactly. Marcus Smart's help side def. I can't talk about any of those things if this was my child.
Right.
So I understand where Cap's coming from. He's basically saying, you know what, I'm going to act for a few days like that was my child, and that's going to dial up my urgency, and it's going to dial up my desperation to make an impact, and I'm going to use my platform to enact change as I see fit. And you know what? If anybody doesn't like it, screw them. I mean, that's basic. And you know what? I understand that too. So believe me, I see all sides
about
on this.
this?
I understand people's frustration with Cap, but I admire people who put themselves to at least stand up and say what they believe in. My goodness.
How would this been in for a statement last Wednesday night in Dallas, a couple nights ago, when the shooting happened that day? If Kerr and Jason Kidd had got together and right at tip-off, they just said, we're walking off. We're not playing this game. And got Cuban involved and whatever, just to make a statement, say, hey, look, this stuff's got to stop. And in order to make a true statement, we're not playing this game tonight. Let the league figure it out. But this is too close to home. This happened in this state, 400 miles away. 18 children, or 19 and 2 teachers gunned down.
I mean, did you hear the story today about the teacher's husband?
Oh, he had a heart attack and died.
He had a massive heart attack and died.
4 children. Yeah. I heard
those
that.
children lost their mother yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And lost their father to a massive heart attack brought on by uncontrollable grief and sorrow.
Yeah.
I mean,
terrible.
What an unbelievable. I mean, what a tragedy, man. I mean, seriously. I mean, it's dominated everybody's thoughts ever since, and rightfully so.
Yeah, it's a tragedy, and unfortunately, it continues. And I wish that we could come together as a nation as we did after 9/11 and see this as evil within, an attack from within, and come together and do something instead of trying to make it a political right versus left versus right. Just, man, I don't know. I don't know what the answers are.
It's frustrating too, Danny.
Yeah.
Haruku Hitoki says, in the end, we just don't care in the U.S. Nothing changed after Columbine. Nothing changed after Sandy Hook. Nothing changed after the mass shooting in Vegas, Parkland, etc.
Yeah, it just goes on and on and on.
I'd love to, Haruku. I'd love to say you're wrong, but I don't know that I can point to anything that says that you're wrong. So
yeah, I mean,
it's sad, but it's it is interesting. I like the fact that the Kapler has a soul and Kapler has a compass. Kapler has a desire to make things better. He doesn't just want to go along to get along. He doesn't want to just go along because it's easy. It's easier to just go along than it is to stand out. And so I kind of do admire the people that stand out, intentionally make themselves stand out. Because they are going to, I'm sure he's going to get a lot of negative attention, and a lot of people who are going to attack him for it and say he's not a patriot and he doesn't love America and he hates the military and all these things we know are for the furthest from the truth.
Right.
But and it's just we have to break through all these different things just to even have a discussion. That's the part that I think is so overwhelming, is that you look at all the layers of blame. Right. But I think there are everybody's so invested in their position that it's like, my goodness, can we just try to get beyond our position for a minute so we can have a national debate, so we can have a brainstorming session, so we can at least discuss the extreme answers, the extreme solutions, and then come to some form of a compromise. Remember that word?
Right.
Compromise.
Yeah. And I think things can be done. I listened to Mad Dog a little bit today, and he was talking about, hey, I don't expect major changes, but let's get something in incremental things happening. You got to have something that starts to happen. You're talking about in laws, with Congress, but there are things that the problem is it's so much gridlock that nobody wants to do anything. There are practical things that can be done immediately. Before you have to go and make drastic gun law changes, or you can make some simple ones. But in the meantime, you could put money into these schools and secure these schools. Every school should be secure. There should be no way to even get in to a school. And if that means, walls instead of fences that people can shoot through fences when the kids are out.
It's not, the thing about it is, people talk about walls and security. It's America. You know how many schools there are? You know how economically challenged most communities are. The idea
but the federal government can get involved in that. How much did we just send to Ukraine? 40 billion?
I know it could be done, but we're talking about a massive. That's not, to me, the answer is not about the locks on the doors. I don't think it's about that at all. I really don't. I just think, what I'm saying? Because it's like, fences, make the fences larger. There's always going to be a door that's propped open or whatever.
I know, it's
air conditioning. Somebody thought it. It's obviously we got to change our mindset, because our youngest, most vulnerable citizens are the target here, and it's just we have to do something to protect them. If we can't protect the weakest people in our society, I mean, what the hell kind of society are we? I mean, really, at the end of the day, that's what we're really talking about. These are the weakest, most vulnerable people in our society and our future, and we can't protect them. It's like we need to protect them. But I don't know if the discussion should be about doors and locks and fences. If it should be more about mental health, I think, and weapons. One of them here, Kevin F, says we need education and training to get a driver's license. Why not the same before buying a gun? Well, I don't know what your experience was like, Kev, but all I know is when I purchased a firearm, I had to go through education. I had to take a test. I had to wait a period of time. There was a process. There was a test, a written test you had to go through. Then they strongly encourage you to, to get with somebody who can show you how to load that gun, care for that gun, train you to fire that gun, to, take care of it.
Absolutely.
There's it's a process. So I don't know that maybe I just went through that process, and I don't know that maybe everybody does, but
they should be required to. I did.
I thought we were doing all these things because they were required, and I wouldn't want to own a gun without the education, without the training, without the instruction, so I do think it's not as simple as just buy a gun at Dick's and put it in the basket and go out to the car, right? I mean, isn't there more involved than that? I mean, at least
you can do it. I mean, you can. Now, I chose, because as a responsible person, the first time I bought a handgun, I was, and my son, we bought them together. We went through training, and we were certified to, I learned everything about a gun before even, shooting a gun. And part of the training was to pass now you're going to go out and actually target shoot. But there's a lot of things you have to learn about a gun, the safety of it, and all of those things. So, but it's not required, unfortunately, and it should be. It should be completely required. People can go buy a gun and walk out of there like they just bought a car and drive off the lot, and now it's your car, you go drive. You got a gun, you walk off with your gun, and and there's got to be some changes on education and training. And it's amazing, though, to me, how much information we have on people, and yet we can't close that door when it comes to mental health to see if somebody is mentally stable. I mean, there's so much information.
How many people have been even properly evaluated during the pandemic? I mean, how many people, seriously, I bet you that there are people that would normally be evaluated that probably haven't been evaluated just simply because they haven't left their homes. And it's, so that's, I think, part of it as well. there's just a lot of factors. There really is. Once again, it's no easy solutions. This is why it's so difficult to have this discussion. And if we're really going to have it in a professional way, we probably should have a guest on who could, give us some better information and some better guidance as far as the options. But I guess, I'm talking about this more just because it kind of bled into sports, with Kapler doing Kerr standing up and saying how he felt, a number of athletes following him, Kapler saying that he doesn't want to show up for the anthem anymore until, change is enacted. I think, overall, before people start evaluating, just realize that people are desperate for change. And they're desperate for answers, and they're frustrated by this, and they feel like there's no solution. And so there's gonna be a lot of pressure on people in the public eye to stand up and say, no, the status quo no longer, and to keep banging that drum until the leaders rise up and enact change. But it's going to take a lot of debate, and it's obviously going to take a lot of focus, and it's going to have to, unfortunately, you've got lobbyists kind of pushing the other way. And that's the other part of this. That's very, very difficult as well, because, it's America, and it's an industry, and, people want to make money in industry. And right. So that, money is tied
drives
to
everything. Yeah.
Money that drives everything. And so, so there's very powerful lobbies, and people have, they're really dug in, and you've got huge amounts of money going to politicians from the NRA. And
yep.
I saw the amount of money that they donated to different politicians. It's an astonishing amount of money.
Yeah, too many lobbyists run the country with every organization out there, and it's sad that we can't have, like you said, real dialogue to tackle an issue instead of trying to get political points for one side or the other. This is just it's part of the reason I have a difficult time even watching. I don't even watch political shows anymore, just because it's just so, whatever.
Nobody's listening to anybody anymore.
Fox says
that's for
their side.
Everybody's in their own personal
side,
echo chamber,
and
Yeah,
and everybody
we used to have to somewhat listen to each other. Remember those days where you actually had to kind of listen to each other? Now, if you believe one thing, you can turn on a channel of nothing but people that agree with you. And you can sit there, and it makes people very close-minded at the end of the day, and they're very dug in and resolute, all those things. So it's just it's a very difficult
coming in here.
What's that?
I said we've definitely sparked a nerve with a lot of people, because this hits.
I know there's probably people who are mad that we're even discussing this. Tom Pierce says, you're right, Larry. That's why there isn't any reform. Romo 2001 says it's divisive, Dan. No more compromise.
Absolutely. There is none. There's none. That's why I don't even bother to, I'm one of the ones that used to be pretty passionate politically, wanted to even serve and look into it, but it's like, not anymore. It's just too divisive. There's who's ever in power is going to have their way. And, it used to be growing up, that there was compromise. There was compromise because people cared more about the country, the well-being of the country, than their own personal well-being, their personal pocketbooks. So it really does come down to money. Money is what's driving everybody's decisions. And so
there's a lot of people feeling a lot of pressure right now, because for a lot of reasons, but then also this just, is such a tragedy. And it's like, you just can't, you want to, everything else when you have tragedies, you're like, we need to just get on to regular life. But then in this particular kind of tragedy, you almost intentionally don't want to get on with regular life.
Well,
So
I can
do
tell you,
understand people wanting to the sun comes up the next day and there's a new day and this and that. But there's a lot of people who are like, you know what? Today can't be the same as yesterday. Today has to be different than yesterday because we can't keep doing the same things because we can't, we have to demand there to be change. And it needs to be part of the central dialogue at the kitchen tables of every American and that kind of thing. And so I do believe in that. I really do believe in that.
Absolutely.
But until we can't even have civil basic discussion. And it's like everybody's so polarized, everybody's so dug in, everybody's living in their own personal echo chamber of people that agree with them.
Right.
If you're believe one thing, do you surround yourself with alternative opinions all day, or do you surround yourself with like-minded people all day? And I think the truth is, if you look at those numbers, they probably would tell you that right-wing people watch right-wing talk, and left-wing people like left-wing talk, and everybody's just dug in. And it's just and it's like it basically creates almost like a conversation gridlock. And that's where we're at.
It's a very sad thing, and I can tell you, when people experience personal tragedy, and I'm not talking about a death that's kind of expected. We all mourn when our loved ones die. I know you recently lost your father. I lost my mom and dad, and my dad in 2016 and my mom in 2019. But we knew it was coming. She was dying of cancer, and we were all there. We saw, we knew she had days, months, we knew it. So we prepared ourselves. But those who experience a tragedy, like what's happened in Uvalde, Texas, their world stops. It feels like the world should stop for everybody. I had a brother-in-law that was, found dead in a hotel room. He bled out, just, didn't know it for a couple days, and then they found him. And, for us, it was like, oh my goodness, it feels like the world should stop, but the world goes on for everybody. But for the people that are really, really hurting, it feels like that, everything should stop and grieve with you, but we just go on. It's such a, so what's happening in Uvalde, that community and those families that lost children, I don't know how you carry on personally.
I could not.
I just don't know how. I mean, if that happened to my children,
you know what? There's people have enormous strength, Danny, and they find a way to compartmentalize and somehow bury the grief or deal with the grief over here, and then just go on with their life, in other areas. But part of them dies. Part dies. I think
part dies. It does.
And it's sad. It's just the whole thing is just so damn sad.
Yeah,
it really is. And then Kevin F says, if kids keep dying at school, should we all just homeschool our kids? Well, there's a huge movement in America for homeschooling your kids, so that's a totally different discussion. But some people can't. Some people, some people live in communities where it's so expensive to live that mom and dad both have to work, and this, doing the homeschool thing is just not an option. But I know that it's much more mainstream in 2022 than it was in 2000. That's for sure. What's that? 22 years. It's a dramatic change in America. It is so sad because you see the faces of those kids, and that those young kids. I mean, they're all about hope.
Third, fourth graders. My goodness.
Yeah, they're all about
7,
hope.
8 years old.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just somehow, and then it's like they had no idea this is coming. Nobody obviously does, and then it's just The ones who obviously lose their life, their life ends. The tragedy that those parents feel is just the unthinkable. And then for the kids who didn't lose their life, I mean, this is what this is going to be. This is going to be a scarring thing for them for the rest of their life.
And then the tragedy,
they'll carry it with them.
Yeah, the tragedy continues because the truth is, most of those marriages that lost a child, many of them will end in divorce because of the tragedy of
just the impact on the relationship, the pressure.
It just destroys things. Yeah, and it's
this
so
one's
sad.
Not Romo 2001, not to mention the horrible law enforcement response. I mean, we even talked about that, but I mean, you know, and I'm not even gonna question law enforcement on that, because to me, I gotta have more definitive information. I'm not going down that road. I'm not going to go down that road and question law enforcement right now, because you know what? It sounds awful. It sounds like there's horrible mistakes were made. But I'll wait on that to weigh in, because I don't see anything really productive in pointing the finger and they should have done this and our law enforcement let us down. I mean, it's possible and it's all going to come out. And believe me, I want to know, just like all of you want to know. Right. We all want to know what happened there. Why did it take them so long to go in? Why, could you imagine if you're one of those parents and your kid's inside and there's parents trying to get into the school and they were wrestled to the ground, supposedly by law enforcement people saying, no, you can't go in. And you know that your kid, I mean, it's just,
I'm not sure
words do not describe the pain, the frustration, but it's also really, really, really easy to point the finger without the facts. And I hate that. That's the one thing about, we do too much in America. We'll take something really serious. We'll jump to a conclusion. We'll get to like 9 layers of down that road, or 9 steps down that road of, this is what happened. And then we'll find out that wasn't what happened. And then all of a sudden, we shouldn't have said all these things. How about we just don't say anything until we actually know? Let's not point the fingers and jump up and down and hit social media complaining about things that until we know definitively what exactly happened in that situation. To me, that's
I read something about that the door was locked and they were barricaded inside and they couldn't. I don't know if that's true or not, but I read something to the fact that the same door that was supposed to be, the entrance was kind of an armored type door and they couldn't get in. I don't know. So,
Matthew Mears says, I think kids need the social interaction with other kids. Many kids had depression when they had to stay home from school during the pandemic. I think there's a lot of truth in that, Matthew. I think there's no doubt. Kevin F says, let's see. Kevin F says, you can get social interaction from extracurriculars like sports. So, there's that as well. There are people that have pulled their kids out and have homeschooled them, and to make sure that they have some baseline of social interaction, they've made sure that, Jimmy's playing flag football and he's playing baseball and he's playing basketball and he's a Cub Scout and he's doing this and that. And we have, neighbors' kids over all the time because we want to have Jimmy to have as close to a normal, upbringing as possible. And yet we want to homeschool them and it's not always safety based. Sometimes people just, the decline of some schools, make parents want to seek out better academic choices for their children. So, I mean, there's that too. So it's just the whole thing is just so heartbreaking. And hopefully, Danny, something, out of every negative, I mean, this is Pollyannish talk, but man, out of something so negative, hopefully something emerges that is positive from this, that is going to change our world, make our world safer, make it safer for kids. man, I mean, a kid's got to be able to go to the first grade and second grade and third grade. And, their biggest concern should be if they got a snack in their lunch that they like, not as some horrible human being who has no hope and no conscience is going to bust through the door and end their life and end the life of all their little friends. I mean, that's just, what are we, where are we? I mean, my goodness.
Yeah. I personally, years ago, homeschooled some of my kids, and it wasn't for safety, or we were in a very safe area. It was more to
academics.
Give them a better education. My daughter was graduated from college and had a teaching degree. She was actually teaching 8th grade English, an 8th grade class before she was 21. And
awesome.
it was funny because I said, it's like, oh my goodness, do you have to be 21 to teach? I didn't even think about it, but yeah, she went and got her master's. She had her master's degree at 21 years of age. So there's some advantages. And, as far as socializing, there's groups, there's other kids that are homeschooled. You get together, just like when you go to each other's houses. And my son played Pop Warner, and he did sports, and they're very well adjusted. So
I've done it both ways. I've had kids in school, and then I've had kids who homeschooled. My wife is a teacher, so she's homeschooled a couple of our kids for a few years. And then, when they get to high school, they go to high school. She hasn't, she only went up to the 8th grade. But my kids did really well. I mean, daughter did well. She got good grades, went to Davis, and my son has gotten really good grades. He's going to Cal Poly, and my other sons are doing well in school. So I'm a big proponent, but it's difficult and takes a lot of time, and not everybody can do it. And it's not easy, but you're right.
A lot of effort, and
it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. It takes, like what you just described too. There's homeschooling groups, and they have their classes with other kids, and but you are, there is some concern about the social interaction. Is there going to be enough? Are they going to somehow miss out on something, that they would have gotten in regular, going to school with, kids in a regular school as opposed to a homeschool?
But
I'm sure there probably are some things.
There's a lot more people thinking about homeschool for just the safety of their children, because they don't want to see what's happening.
Yeah, because this is not happening every year. This is happening every week.
Yeah. And, here we are, the end of May. Schools are pretty much done here in Arizona because, the heat, we kind of end early, but they start up again in mid-August. But other parts of the country, school continues on into June. And who knows, are we going to see more of this craziness because some 17, 18-year-old hopeless kid doesn't want to live anymore, and he wants to take out as many people as he or she possibly can? I mean, it's just unbelievable. I'm speechless at times to know what to say about it, because it's got to stop. And it's just a tragedy. And I don't know what it's going to take. Like Kerr said, what's it going to take? When are you going to do something? When is somebody going to do something? And
well, if enough people apply enough pressure, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take a lot of people applying a lot of public pressure consistently, keeping that dialogue going, not allowing this to just be washed away, not allowing this to just be another moment of silence,
Yeah. And it's,
and that's why, and even though I'm all for, the separation of sports and political talk, and I do understand the people who are like, hey man, I'm so tired of it in our world, and I just want to watch sports as a diversion. I don't want to get into everybody's political beliefs. And I get it. I get that. I get that. I really do, because it's so much simpler and easier, and we enjoy it more. It's
right. Every time
you're ruining our good time. But
Yeah.
I mean, some things are more important than our good time.
I know. Every time I scan
that's
by
the
the cable news, though, if it's Fox or MSNBC, and I'll watch a little bit of each just to see, and like you said, it's one, they got one side, or CNN, and I just kind of, and then I just go, I'm watching ESPN, or I'm going to find an old game, or I'm going to watch a Everybody Loves Raymond episode or something. I just don't want to engage in all the crap, because it's just nothing gets done, because there is no compromise.
Because everybody's so dug in.
Yeah, they're so dug in.
Everybody's so dug in. We're not even listening to each other. How can we have dialogue when we're not even talking to each other? We're talking in echo chambers to people who agree with us, and we have our alternate realities. That's where it's at. Let's call it quits right here, man. And we've kind of, I know this is not your typical post-game show, that's for sure. But
it was a downer anyway, the Giants game.
Yeah, by the way, Giants lose 5-1, right? It was 5-1 the final.
5-1, and they were just no bats tonight, nothing.
Yeah.
I couldn't get anything going.
Weird kind of, I was expecting to see more offense in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
But just that the pitcher, Graham Ashcraft, I mean, is there such a thing as a rag arm guy anymore? Everybody throws 100. 100. Yeah. This guy's throwing 100, and his slider,
95.
The guy's got 100 in a nasty slide piece.
Yeah.
My goodness, there's no end to the number of nasty pitchers. I mean, believe me, if we've been watching baseball for a long time. Could you imagine if all of a sudden in 1979 the Giants promoted a guy out of the minor leagues, and you're like, yeah, what's his name? Oh, his name's Graham Ashcraft. Oh, really? He's going tonight? What does he throw? Yeah, he throws 100, and he's got a 90-mile-an-hour slider that rolls off the table like it's super nasty.
Hey, did you see the guy on Tennessee?
He throws 100 with a nasty slider? You mean he's like an all-star? I mean, seriously, back then, if you nobody threw 100. Goose Gossage threw smoke. It was like 96. It's amazing.
There's a guy at the University of Tennessee that's pitching that throws 100, and he threw 105.5 the other day.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about the guy for the Reds, Hunter Green?
Oh, yeah. 102, 103.
But it's free and easy. It's like, I've never seen anybody throw an easier 100 than that guy. Maybe Randy Johnson, but not too many. Romo 2001 donates $5. He says, great discussion on society in general in America. Not everyone will agree with each other, but discussion is needed to hear each other out. Amen.
Yeah.
No doubt. Some of these discussions are harder to have than, hey, Jason Tatum, who's going to D up Jason Tatum? You know what I mean? But I like being in the toy department of life. I like talking sports. I like having fun. I hate talking about serious stuff. That's, really serious. But I also, and I'm a sports fan, but I'm a sports fan who's got 4 kids and a conscience and, parents and siblings, and I'm a part of society, and I want to see things improve. And I think so does Cap, so does Kerr, so does Danny, so does Ryan, so does everybody, right? Everybody wants to see things improve. And then it's just a matter of, well, how do we do it? And I don't even want to get into that, because that's when we start getting divided and change. Everybody's dug in. Everybody's got an opinion. I just want to basically express, honest emotions, honest feelings about a tragic situation. I think everybody in America is reflecting this weekend. I know for me personally, I got 2 of my kids away at college. I got a 16-year-old in the house. I got a 12-year-old in the house. And so the 12-year-old's kind of like my baby, he's our youngest child. And, it's like, I just hugged him the other night, just, sitting there thinking to myself, why am I so lucky to not have the kid who got killed at school today, And, I feel for those families, man. I really do. I really feel for those families, because They died in a way that they're never going to get it back, right? I mean,
Right.
you're never going to get it back. I would never be the same person if I lost one of my children in some terrible, tragic situation, or any way for that matter, but I'm especially at the hands of gunfire in their school. I mean, it's just
Tragic.
Absolutely tragic. So,
They say is I've heard it say, and I don't know how it exactly goes, but if you've got a disagreement with a family member or whatever, get it right, because you'll regret it, and the when you'll regret it is the day of the funeral. So if you've got something going, do something about it to try and make it right. It's sad. There's so much conflict in America. We've talked about this, the whole situation and the political, but there's a lot of conflict in everybody's personal lives. I like to live as conflict free as possible. I'd like to think I don't have any enemies that I know of, but just treat people right and just love on your family, and like you said, your children. It's a very sad thing what's happening in America today. And I grew up in an era that all I did is play outside, and I didn't need a lot of TV and I didn't have those games, and so it was an era that was wonderful. I could walk up to the park at Cal Park in Concord, where the big swimming pool is. I went to the elementary school right there, El Monte Elementary. I could walk up there at 10 years old by myself and shoot hoops, and all the way up to dusk, and then walk home. Today, never do that.
yeah.
Wouldn't let my kid do that. You might not ever see him again, but you just got to protect and enjoy your families, and but I just wish some of this stuff would stop, and part of it is just the golden rule: do unto others as you'd have them do to you.
Well said. Well said. A couple last minutes. We just want to thank everybody who's in the chat. We've had hundreds more before, because we're talking about Warrior playoff games and fun stuff and exciting Giants games. We've had a really fun week, by the way. Danny doing play-by-play, and that great comeback the other night, watching the Warriors dispatch of the Mavericks, and we got a great week ahead, right? We're going to have the Warriors in the NBA Finals and NFL training camp just around the corner. The Giants, hopefully kicking butt on this road trip. They've got an opportunity to play some teams that on paper they should beat. So good, lots of great topics and lots of great sports talk coming up in the days and weeks ahead. But we thank you for indulging us tonight into a real discussion. We'll pay the bills, and we'll be right back with a few last thoughts on the Krueg Show, starring Dan Coccimilgio, right here on the Krueg Show. And thanks to Tony Cassera and the good people at Cassera's Italian Menswear. They are housing the Krueg Show T-shirts, and they're a proud sponsor of the show as well. The Krueg Show T-shirt, the Krueg Show Podcast T-shirt is available there at their store in Dublin. Their address is 7372 San Ramon Road in Dublin, California. And go see Tony Cassera and get yourself a Krueg Show T-shirt and support the show. And special thanks to our sponsor, New York Style Italian Sausage. That's right, NewYorkStyleSausage.com is their website. Phenomenal product, whether it's the breakfast sausage, the Italian mild, the Italian spicy, the chorizo. You cannot go wrong with New York Style Italian Sausage. Once again, NewYorkStyleSausage.com, often imitated, never equaled. And they are a proud sponsor of the Krueg Show. Thanks to them as well. Larry Krueger here for Telmetrics. Thanks to Casey Bateman and the good people at Telmetrics. If you're an occupational therapist, if you're an orthopedic surgeon, a chiropractor, a physical therapist of any kind, Telmetrics is designed for you to use in your practice and will greatly benefit your patients. Telmetrics uses computer vision and artificial intelligence and provides a platform for outpatient rehab therapy services, both in the clinical and the telehealth environments. So using Telmetrics can improve your patient's experience and much more. So for all your sports injury needs, or if you're a physical rehabilitation specialist of any kind, call and make sure you use telmetrics.co, TELMETRIX.co. And thanks to Casey Bateman and all the good people at Telmetrics for being a proud sponsor of the Krueg. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Dan Coccimilgio. Dan is a buddy, and he is a phenomenal retirement planning specialist. And you can contact him today at securemoney.com or at his number, 925-628-9966. There's a lot of uncertainty in our world right now, and you want to make sure that your money is secure. That is the key. Danny's got 25 years of experience, born and raised right here in the Bay Area, and he can help you get an immediate 10% premium bonus on your principal retirement account. So give him a call, 925-628-9966. He'll make an appointment with you, and you can sit down. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of a deal. He'll consult with you and come up with a strategy to get you going to where you want to be. Once again, 925-628-9966, securemoney.com on the web. And thanks to Dan Coccimilgio and all the people at Secure Money for being proud sponsors of the Krueg Show.
All right. We're back.
Thank you to everybody involved tonight, and one more perusal of the chat here. A couple interesting comments here. Romo 2001 says your basketball coverage has been excellent. Thank you. We've enjoyed doing the basketball stuff for sure. Danny, having your brother on last night was very cool as well.
Yeah,
getting his perspective. Yeah. He's really got a lot to say. Hell of this, hell of that says the Giants need a stud third baseman.
I see that one. Yeah.
Can't wait for Casey Schmidt. Casey Schmidt is the San Diego State kid who was the closer and the third baseman?
Yes.
That's him?
That's him,
He's doing well in the minors right now?
He's doing well. Yeah, he's doing very well. And, I think he might be their third baseman of the future, is what they're kind of looking at.
Where is he? What level?
I think he's at high A.
Yeah.
I think he's in Eugene, a couple years away. They've also got Villar, who's can play third base and is tearing it up down there at AAA. It's probably going to take some type of I don't want to wish an injury on Longoria or anything at all, but I don't think they're going to bring up someone to replace Longoria unless he's out.
Right. Well, that's an interesting one. Villar's definitely swinging it down there. Yeah. I would imagine it won't be too long before we see him. Romo 2001 says Kapler forgot to put McGee on the lineup card.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Kapler or Kai Correa. I saw him in the dugout.
Somebody's
Correa was
told what's up there.
Talking to Kapler like he was trying to. I couldn't read the lips, but by his body language, he was like, he was upset. And I don't know if Cap was on him or what happened, but monster slam, Carlo.
Monster slam!
Celts
Chronicles, monster slam, LOL, love it. Couldn't make my voice crack like that if I tried, and I'd love to
hear Celts Chronicle earlier made a comment. I'd love to hear his personal story sometime, maybe off air. Kelt says, Jerry Rice and Jesus Christ saved my life. No lies. Love to hear what
it begs a follow-up, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Celts, when we reconvene, get with us and tell us that story. And don't forget. Danny, great stuff all week. And we'll do some more stuff this weekend. I'm not sure exactly what's coming up this weekend. I think tomorrow we may take an off day on Saturday for a little youth baseball. But we'll be back on Sunday and a whole slew of new live streams and post-game shows next week. For Dan Coccimilgio, I'm Larry Krueger. Danny, have a great night, man.
Yeah, you too, Larry.
Yeah.
Never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get exactly what you asked for. Here for whatever you bring me, getting handled. I answer to no one, I don't need to hassle. Yeah.